दोस्तों बढ़ते हैं हमारे नेक्स्ट सेशन की ओर जो एक नॉलेज सेशन है. द टॉपिक इज कंज्यूमर्स एंड कंटेंट एंड एरा ऑफ एवोल्यूशन. We are in conversation with Ram Kamal Mukherjee, filmmaker, author, and biographer, joined by Jay Pandya, CEO, Legend Studios. Over to you, Ram sir.
Hello, everybody. Today at IWM Buzz India Webfest Season 3, we have a very special guest with us. A guest who has carved his niche with the content that we had seen last year in ZEE5 and last year probably for last 2 years, the content that you've been seeing on ZEE5. This person played a very important role. Now he has donned a new hat of being a CEO of Legend Studios and coming up with really interesting slate of films in 2022. So now I would like to introduce my friend and very talented personality from our Indian film industry, Mr. Jay Pandya. Jay, welcome to India Webfest Season 3.
Thank you, Ram, for such a humbling introduction. I mean,
but that was from Dil Se, ekdam original introduction diya maine.
No, fantastic, and I really like it. But I've always believed in the teamwork, and I very fondly and I remember ZEE5 days in terms of since the time we literally launched it, from the launch day to how we have grown it together, and it was completely a team effort, and I am glad I was able to contribute. And taking a leap forward and now coming to the other side of the table, and I'm going to experience how the life is that side, getting more and more closer to content. Always aspired to do that. So yeah, hopefully we'll do something good in the coming days. Something great is lined up.
Yes, I was coming. In fact, that's my question. I mean, thanks for the cue, because when you jump fence, when you go to the other side of the fence, when you're a player, but you're still, switching on responsibilities, switching on the job responsibilities. How does it affect you as a person? How does it change your mindset? How do you see your new role?
So, they are very different worlds. All right. Fortunately for us, having a backload of experience behind us, we should be able to compartmentalize the same. But I believe that there is a balancing thread which is being developed. When you are at the other side of the table, you are looking at producers, production houses, studios, mere from a partnership and a content acquisition or a commissioning point of view. When you come to this side of the table, the actual games is being developed over here, right from the ground root level, in terms of producing a particular content, setting up a particular project, financing, right, even casting, execution. This is a very, very different game. However, being said that, given the digital evolution, okay, there has to be a balance between a very warm and a humble handshake between both sides of the chairs. What we have seen in this last 2 years, if the growth, an exponential growth for the digital world which is happening, there has to be a planned trajectory between both the sides if this particular growth has to even grow multiple folds in the coming future. Because it is always the demand and supply which is going to have a balanced economy of content and the digital or the television world. Production houses, studios, content makers are the ones who are going to meet that supply, because the demand is only going to grow. If you look at digital audiences, content palette, that's also been completely changing. So, it's a very interesting game.
Yes, I'm coming to the my second part of this whole switch that you have made. I have a very I'm saying that I have a very interesting question, because I think it's a very interesting topic to discuss, because when you are working on a content for a channel like ZEE5, there is time restriction. You have a different TG altogether. Your content selection is completely different. So that the parameters are completely different. But now that you have switched on to a studio and you're a CEO of a studio who's going to make feature films, and if I'm not wrong, then probably you're making half a dozen of feature film, like you have lined up a half a dozen of feature films in over 2022 to 23. So
Yeah.
when you are doing feature film, obviously the complete idea, the idea of making is different from that of a web series or a short film or even a digital film. So how are you balancing that? How are you seeing the content? Is it changing your perspective of what you've been working for so many years with your previous company?
Right. So I'll divide it into two parts of this. All right. One, luckily, being having experience on the other side of the table, it helps me to pre-plan. Okay, and I always believe that pushing the timetable or the pushing the time envelope is always going to be the need of the hour. That's why I previously said that it has to be hand in hand. Studios and production houses need to understand that demand ratio from the other side of the table. Let it be the channels, let it be the platforms or anybody else, because we need to understand the business model that we are going to be so strongly partnering with, or other side of a partner for whom we're going to make content with. Having said that, having the experience over it, I would prefer that we work backwards. We plan down our projects, our timelines in a way where somewhere we try and meet that particular content demand of our partners from the other side. Changing of content, the other part of it, now that's going to be an independent principle of every content maker. So we at Legend are designing a very different positioning for ourselves. Okay,
Like,
we like to play between real and relevant. The stories that we are trying to pick up are more from a biopic or a based on or a true event or an adaptation per se, and then we try, when we are etching out the screenplay or something like that, we want to bring in the relevance thread for that particular subject, so it immediately connects with today's audiences. Whatever we've learned is that, if there is something relevant to your life, to a common viewer's life, the inquisitivity of watching it further is already developed. So, so I have taken that particular cue, and that is how we are designing a slate for the studio in the coming years, and we've picked up the projects. Now, I believe that from a demand perspective, I believe and I hope that, these subjects rest well from the requirements from our platform partners, and we will be able to, design great partnerships coming forward.
yes, I'm sure. But when you're talking about the slate, can you discuss a little bit about the projects that you would like to reveal exclusively on our channel today, on our chat today? That what's 2022 looking like?
So I mean, it's looking very, very interesting. Many of them have not been announced. Many of them are at a closure stages, but a few that, in a pipeline, and then, I would want to at least mention it out is, so we are making a biopic on Mr. Subrata Roy. We are making a biopic on Veer Savarkar. We are making a biopic on Godse. We are making a couple of direct-to-digital films as well, but purely in a crime thriller zone. So these are topics and subjects which, from whatever experience I have seen that they are bold. They are comparatively closer to the viewing palette of overall audiences. I am not saying that this is theatrical or a digital audiences. There is some sort of an inquisitiveness in the names that I took that, people really don't know much about. We are picking up subjects and positioning ourselves into a section where we want to tell stories, one, which are bold, which maybe, not a lot of people have tried to lay their hands on, being neutral, keeping a common tonality, bring out the stories to the audiences to see that, okay, this is how these subjects work. We have only heard or, read it about a little bit about them in some books or in some news or something like that.
Great. I when you were saying about these names of and the biopics that the studio is making, which is, I guess, I'm sorry I didn't mention Sandeep's name, because I think it's Sandeep and you together are Legend Studios. So Sandeep made Modi, and that clearly shows that he is inclined towards biography. And biographies has been my favorite genre too. But unfortunately, I feel that India somewhere failed to create biographies the way Hollywood has created in the past, or even creating now. But with the digital revolution, we have seen a lot of attempt of making biopics of known personalities and lesser known personalities and completely unknown personalities.
Right.
But biopic as a genre has definitely grown in leaps and bounds over the years, thanks to the digital platform. Because earlier, I think in cinema halls we would rarely see biopics like on big screen. It was always about commercial popcorn masala films that worked. So do you think that that could be one of the reason of the digital revolution, that your studio is focusing a lot on biopic?
Not exactly. What digital has done, what I believe is it has dropped the barriers between a national and an international audience. It has given more reach. It has given more accessibility. Looking at the digital growth in terms of number of viewing hours increased, number of digital subscription increased, number of video content consumption increased, we clearly see that it's an upward trend. But from a content making perspective, it is purely a positioning we have designed, a vision that we have designed for a particular studio, that we want to walk towards it. These are certain stories we want to tell. Okay. Masala commercial movies do work. Absolutely, they work. There is no harm, and there is an audience for that as well. But as I said, that anything which is real and we make it a little bit relevant to today's audiences is a space we particularly want to play in. There will be a whole chunk of another content available that we could play around with, but we have categorically positioned ourselves to be working on biopics and the true nature of stories.
True, that's absolutely true. But in India, there's another problem when you make biopics. You have to self-censor it when you are at the scripting stage, because you don't know who you're going to hurt. Because we are very emotional people, and we get very carried away by things that we see. We have our strong likes and dislikes, which is not how it functions in West or in any other continent when they're making biopic of any celebrity or any personality. But here we unfortunately have to kind of balance it, weigh it, see it, whether it's politically right, politically not right. So how does that part work in your studio? Because are you kind of thinking that चलो कुछ नहीं तो because censorship नहीं है digital में, तो हम इसको digital platform में डाल देंगे और OTT में release हो जाएगी. But अगर इस cinema hall पे लाना है, so then there is censorship, then there is censor board. So how are you addressing that at the making stage?
See, we are not averse that in the near future or whenever there is going to be restriction and digital censorship will come into play. Okay. So we are not going to go around and take liberties which might lead to a different path. And as I said earlier, we are trying to have a neutrality tone to the stories that we want to say. We neither want to patronize something or someone, yet we want to bring that side of that person, that event, or that episode, the way it had been, the way the person is, the way the event happened. Given you mentioned about the restriction that we could or we could not have, we from a talent perspective, from a writing stage perspective, we will keep in mind, but we do not go overboard, we do not cross boundaries. However, we are not also going to be only on the good side of the particular story we want to say. Otherwise, we would have never picked up that subject. Yes. If it was patronizing, then that is not we really want to do. We would have exactly positioned ourselves into a different box. So yeah, we are aware about the reality, and keeping those norms in mind, we will etch out and we will tell stories which are which will fall into a good palette. And that's why I mentioned, bold. I use the word bold and strong stories, because maybe many people have not attempted to. But yeah, that's a zone we really want to take ourselves into and excel.
True. Apart from the biopics and the thriller that you had mentioned, what are the genres that you're trying to explore? Are you kind of going to explore new genres? Are you going to try and explore newer talent, or you're going to kind of follow the studio rule of only working with big actors, big directors, big makers, and falling on for names? Because all the studios, be it abroad or in India, they've been really falling for names. They've not been able to kind of create new content. They've not been able to give break to new people. That's been the complaint always, that studios have fallen for an Akshay Kumar or Salman Khan or a Shah Rukh Khan or a Sanjay Leela Bhansali, Rohit Shetty. All these names, they all want names to begin with. So is your studio also following the same path, or you're going to kind of give balance it out or give chance to newcomers?
Your journalist is really coming out. See, I mean, Ram, we got to understand the business side of it, all right? And we got to understand the emotional side of it as well. As I mentioned, that I have fair experience from the business side of it, and now I'm coming to the actual production side of it. So I understand the model. I would not categorize saying that, studios go for X, Y, Z and all. I would say that who's going to do justice to a particular story? Who is going to do justice to a character that I'm designing? If a character demands that, I need to have an actor who excels in an XYZ particular type of a role, then we will not very categorically saying that, no, still I am going to go for an A+ grader. But if there is a story, about a subject or a person who is going to demand, someone like an AA+ grader, for me to take that particular subject to a different level of reach, then yes, nobody is averse to it. However, said that, we are making much content. These are only few ones that I have revealed to you. There are a few I did not wanted to announce it before we close the formalities and the legalities. But there is enough content in pipeline where we will 100% be working with a lot of new faces. There will be many different stories. You will be surprised by the stories that, we will announce very soon, that we are not going to box ourselves into a particular category. That's a starting stage, but our growth trajectory is very, very different.
Superb. Coming on to the last segment of our chat today is that now that you have made this big switch and now you're the CEO of a company and a CEO of a studio, it sounds really heavy. So is the responsibility also really heavy on your shoulder? Because earlier whenever you work for a company, of course it's your job. It's a responsibility of a different sort. But when you stand by your own, when you become individual, what are the differences that you see, and what are the challenges that you face? Somebody who actually, for example, this question would be really interesting to people who want to kind of take that leap, but they are always scared of taking that leap. We are all very cushioned. We like to live a very cushioned life, but you've been always very, drastic and experimental with your life. So is it easy to switch? Is it easy to take that responsibility, or it's tough?
No, it's all about aspirations and sticking by it, Ram. I had designed my roadmap way earlier where I wanted to go. And as I mentioned, I always wanted to get closer to the content. I can't get any closer to the content otherwise now. So, that's how I had designed my roadmap. I stuck by my aspirations. And it's about taking that one leap of faith. Trusting yourself and making the switch. I would not mention that, if you work for a particular organization, you have less ownership. No, it's all about ownership. It's about whether you work for a particular company, jo bolte hain na shiddat se kaam karna chahiye, then only you excel at that. Yeah, obviously where I am right now, in terms of roles and responsibilities, it has increased because, not only content, we have to really think from a business, revenue, partnership, growth perspective. I will not be thinking of 1 year or 2 years down the line. We have to think 3 years and 5 years beyond. So yeah, all those things come into play. And accordingly, as I said, we love to work backwards, and we can work backwards if we have our goals chalked down right now itself. So it becomes easier. So right from content to the team, to the structure, to partnerships, everything, then, you work backwards and falls in place. So it's more about taking ownership, more about taking leap of faith, trusting your aspiration, backing your own self, and you can excel in anything.
Fabulous, Jay. So I think 2022 looks really exciting and interesting for you and for your studio. And on that note, I would like to kind of wish you all the best for your new journey and hope that next year, next season, when you come back to this show, we'll have much more to talk about the content that you've already made and you have already kind of, shared it with the audience. So wishing you all the best. And it was great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ram. Thank you, IWM, for having me. And yes, looking forward to the next season and catching up with you guys in person. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Ram sir and Jay Pandya ji, for that wonderful knowledge session.